There are moments in history that just feel like a land rush, right? A wild, mad dash into some unknown frontier. Well, we are living through one of those moments right now. It is the great AI gold rush, a time of insane excitement, unbelievable investment, and a whole lot of uncertainty. So let's do this. Let's follow the money, the hype, and the code to figure out what is really going on. All right, here's the plan. We're going to start with the gold strike, that moment that kicked this whole frenzy off. Then we'll follow the flood of money to see who's staking a claim. After that, we'll see what's actually being built with all this cash. And we have to ask the big question, is this the real deal or is it just fool's gold? And finally, we'll zoom in on the human element, the real-world impact this has on all of us. Every gold rush starts with the discovery, right? That one moment that just captures everyone's imagination and makes them think there's a fortune to be made. For AI, that discovery wasn't a nugget of gold. It was a number. $500 billion. Just let that sink in for a second. That is the mind-blowing new valuation of OpenAI. And look, it's not just a number on a spreadsheet. It's the signal flare that's telling everyone there is gold in these digital hills. The rush is officially on. But this whole frenzy isn't just about big, abstract numbers. It's about what this tech can actually do. The real, tangible, and sometimes kind of mind-bending products that are starting to pop up. I mean, just take Sora 2, OpenAI's new video generator. It's creating these stunningly realistic clips from just a bit of text, and it has already gone completely viral. But this is where you see the real tension of this whole AI boom. You've got this immense creative power on one side, and then on the other, you have viral deepfakes and this massive debate about what's real, what's fake, and what's safe. So that initial gold strike has now kicked off a global flood of investment. The prospectors have officially arrived, and they are coming from every corner of the world, all looking to stake their claim on a piece of this frontier. And this is not just a Silicon Valley story. Not at all. The rush is global. You've got companies from all over the world scrambling to supply the core components, the digital picks and shovels, for this new AI economy. Just look at the ecosystem that's forming here. You've got Hitachi from Japan building out the data centers, Samsung and SK Hynix from South Korea supplying those crucial high-performance memory chips, and private equity firms just fueling billion-dollar deals left and right. It is the classic gold rush playbook. In a gold rush, sell picks and shovels. So, what happens when all that money finally gets put to work? Well, it gets turned into actual tools and services that you and I can use. The AI boomtown is officially under construction, and it's already changing our entire digital landscape. AI is officially moving out of the research lab and into our daily lives. From the way you search the internet to the way militaries operate, the practical, real-world applications are starting to show up everywhere. And this is a huge shift, right? We're moving from passive tools to active assistants. I mean, think about your web browser. The old way, you do all the work. The new way, with tools like Perplexity's Comet, your browser becomes your personal AI assistant that can figure out what you need, organize your tabs, and even help you draft emails. And the stakes get so much higher when you go beyond the desktop. In defense, there's a whole new wave of startups they're calling neoprimes. Think of them as the new prime contractors, and they're attracting billions to develop AI for national security. They're building this dual-use tech that works for both civilian and military purposes, and they're really challenging the old guard of defense giants. But with any gold rush comes that nagging question of whether it's all just a frenzy built on pure hype. Is it real, or is it fool's gold? And now, some of the most seasoned veterans in the industry are starting to sound the alarm. This quote from a Goldman Sachs executive really gets to the heart of the bubble fear. I mean, valuations at 100 times revenue, that's just completely disconnected from reality. It's a classic sign that investor excitement has totally detached from how these companies are actually performing. That's what frothy really means. And when the founder of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, uses the word bubble, people listen. It is a stark, simple warning from a guy who not only survived the last big tech bubble, but literally built an empire from its ashes. But Bezos makes a really crucial point. He calls it an industrial bubble. The idea is that, even if most of these companies go bust, the sheer amount of investment will leave behind something valuable for the survivors to build on. Think about the dot-com crash. It left us with all the fiber optic cables that powered today's internet. The failures actually built the foundation for the future. Which brings us right to the center of this whole AI boom. Is this all just hype? Or is it reality? Or is it somehow paradoxically both at the exact same time? Okay, so let's pivot for a second. Let's move away from the high finance debate and talk about the real world impact. Because every boom, every gold rush has huge consequences for the people on the ground, especially for the next generation that's just starting out. And this quote from a recent Georgetown grad, wow, it just shows you the human side of this boom. Behind all the headlines about half-trillion-dollar valuations, there's a generation of young people facing a job market where the old rules just don't seem to apply anymore. And this chart reveals something pretty startling about the value of a college degree right now. The unemployment gap between college and high school grads is the smallest it has been in decades. That diploma just isn't the golden ticket to a white-collar job that it used to be. And that's a massive shift in our economy. And the data points are just stark. The unemployment rate for new job seekers, 9-year high. A Stanford study directly links AI exposure to a 13% drop in employment for young workers. Even the Fed chair is admitting that, yes, something is different this time. Young people are having a harder time out there. So, where does all this leave us? Well, the AI gold rush is creating a new world, but the map is still being drawn. You've got these powerful, conflicting forces of hype, hope, and real-world consequences all swirling around at once. This quote from the Goldman Sachs trading desk just perfectly captures the mood right now. For the moment, caution is getting thrown to the wind. The fear of being left behind in this massive technological revolution is way more powerful than the fear of a bubble bursting. FOMO is winning. And that leaves us with the ultimate half-trillion-dollar question. Are we watching the construction of a revolutionary new foundation for our entire economy and our society? Or are we just witnessing the inflation of the biggest, most consequential bubble in history? The only thing we know for sure is that we're all living right in the middle of it.